Hello, my brethren. So this is what if Deku was Zoom, part three, I believe. Yeah, part three. So last time I left off, they had just finished the evaluation exam. So um, after that, Izuku is. I mean, they finish up the whole day's work. Izuku's about to go home when Bakugo kind of like he like comes around the corner, and he's like nerd. He's just looking at Izuku, and Izuku just looks around. He's like, "What the fuck do you want, bro?" And Bakugo's like, "How did you get so strong? You weren't this strong before. No, it can't be." He's like, "I won't accept that you're stronger than me now." And Izuku's like, "Well, you're gonna have to accept it and hold that L, fam, because you can't do shit about it. So bye." And Bakugo's like, "Are you mocking me, nerd?" And Izuku's like, "No, I'm just saying you're weaker than me." And Bakugo's like, "How dare you?" And he tries to throw an explosion towards Izuku, and Izuku just like quickly just deflects the punch and he just deflects he deflects the explosion and just punches Bakugo in the face. And he's like, "Bro, like don't ever try to put your hands on me ever again, bro. Like I will beat your ass." And he just says that like, "I'll beat your ass." And then he just like walks down and he just speeds away. Which Bakugo was getting angrier and angrier. He's like, "No, I won't accept it. The guy, the guy who didn't do anything, the guy that I used to provoke and bully all the time, which he thinks he bullied Izuku, which Izuku just made it look like that. Like I used to bully him all the time. He never retaliated. He was always so weak. He just let himself get hit before. Like he wasn't using his quirk, so he was looking down on me, and Izuku was looking down on him because personally, why wouldn't he? Nigga, like, bro, the fuck?" So, you know, um, Izuku, Izuku. My nigga. So my nigga is like, he's running home, right? But then he forgets, oh shit. He remembers, oh shit, I can't use my quirk. I'm not a pro hero. Because he got back into using his quirk, which he hadn't done in years. And since he got to use his quirk, he forgot that he's not supposed to unless in school. So he stops, and who do you say? You know, Tenya Ida's brother. I think it was Ingenium. Yeah, Ingenium. He sees this blue streak going across the city, which Izuku's running really slow because I'm just gonna say he's really tired because it's been a long time since he's used his powers, like I said. So he's tired as fuck. But anyway, he's running really slow, but Ingenium still can't even see who it is. He can't even see if it's an actual person or just a bolt of lightning. So Ingenium is chasing Izuku around, which Izuku he leaves this like little trail of lightning that Ingenium's following around, and when Izuku stops, Ingenium finally catches up to him after like 5 minutes of of Izuku stopping. Izuku gets like near his house. He's like a mile away from his house, and Ingenium finally catches up, and he's like, "Hold there, evildoer." Um, and Izuku's like, "What do you mean, evildoer?" And Ingenium was like, you were using your quirk without a license." And Izuku's like, "How do you know I'm not a hero though?" And Ingenium's like, "I know all the heroes, blah blah. I know all of them. I'm friends with all of them. Um, and you know, you don't seem like a hero as well. You don't have a costume on or anything." And he's like, "Fair point, fair point." And Ingenium's like, "You're gonna have to come to the station with me because you were using your quirk without permission, blah blah." And Izuku's like, "Bro, calm down." He's like, I came from UA, and I came from UA, and I was doing this really hard evaluation exam," which he's lying. He's like, "I was doing this really hard evaluation exam, and my mind's tired, so I forgot that you're not supposed to use your quirk." And I'm like, could you just let this one slide? Which, um, and Jenny was like, oh, you weigh. He was like, why didn't you just say so? He's like, you're aiming to become a hero. That's all I needed to hear. But he's like, but don't let me catch you using your quirk again, brother. Like that's still against the law, even if you are trying to become a hero. He was like, yeah, sure, bro. Like it's like you're like, bro, it was a one-time thing. I won't use it again. He's like, thank you very much. And Izuku's like, since you let me off the hook, I might as well know your name. Like, thank you for sparing me. And basically, Ingenuine is like, my name is Ingenuine, blah blah blah. And he says, I am something Ida. And Izuku's like, oh, Ida? So you mean you're like a relative of Tenya Ida? And Jenny was like, "Oh, how do you know my brother?" And Izuku's like, "Oh, we go to the same class. I'm in class 1A with him and Tenya." And basically, he's like, "Tenya is an amazing student, but sometimes he's like, don't get me wrong, your brother's an amazing student, but sometimes he can just be a little bit too uptight." And Jenny was like, "Yeah, I understand where you're coming from." And he's like, "Damn, this is a good kid because Izuku, he's still gonna be savage. He's not gonna like people whatsoever. He doesn't like people." But he be's nice to people that's nice to him, like he's still gonna be like a bit evil because he's Zoom, my nigga, so he's still gonna like fighting, and he's gonna want all the power. But since he has been with since he's been with his new family, like he just can't be bothered to do shit because he's gotten attached to his family, and he knows that if he becomes a villain or starts doing whatever the fuck he wants, his mother and father won't be proud of him. They'd be disappointed and shit. And quite honestly, he just can't be bothered for it. So he's like, anyway, I have to be going home. Tell Tenya that I said hi, and I'm sorry for using my quirk. I promise you, it will never happen again. And Jenny was like, um, thank you. I will tell Tenya, and have a good day. And remember, you can't use a quirk. And Izuku's like, yeah, thanks. And Izuku just like turns around and starts walking, which Ingenium just speeds off, and he's like, that was a nice ass kid, bro. So, um, Ingenium. This is like before Ingenium gets hurt. So Ingenium gets hurt. He gets home. He goes to Ida. He's like, yo, I met one of your classmates today. And Ida's like, oh, who? And Izuku's like, yeah, it was he was a nice kid. I didn't get his name, but he had a speed quirk. He said he was in class 1A as well, and Ida's like, oh, you met Izuku, and Tanya's like, and freaking Ingenium. I can't remember his name, right? So I'll call him Ida's brother or Ingenium. So Ingenium's like, um, yeah, I met him. Is that his name? Oh, yeah, he had this really powerful speed quirk. I could hardly keep up with him. He was so fast. He was so fast, my eyes couldn't even track him. And Ida's like, yeah, he's really powerful, but he's really rude as well. And basically, you know, and Jenny was like, what? Nah, the kid I met, he wasn't rude like that. And he told me to send you his regards. And Ida's like, what? For real? Like, I didn't even think he liked me like that. And Jenny was like, well, he didn't say he liked you, but he said you were a good student and a good guy. He says you're just too uptight sometimes. And he just like, too uptight? What the fuck does that mean? And Jenny was like, you know what that means, bitch. Like, you is like that. He's like, that's a perfect description of your character, bro. And you just like, no, it's not. And they're just having this like brotherly banter, and it's fun. Which the fun's about to end when Ida's brother gets mucked off in the M way. I'm kidding, but still. Anyway, so Izuku gets home. His parents are like, "How was your first day?" He's like, "It was great. We had an evaluation test, and I got first." And they're like, "We knew you'd get first. You always get first. You are an amazing son, an amazing student." Blah blah blah. He's getting praise, and he's like, "Oh, stop it!" And but he says it like for like, oh, "Stop it." That shit is like he's kind of blushing a little bit because his parents are always so nice to him. But he's like, "Ah, stop it." And he just like goes to his room, and he keeps he keeps doing a bunch of shit. He's just training and training and training because his body is good, but he needs to get his body accustomed to one for all. Which if he does use too much of one for all, it will still break his bones. But if it does, he has speed healing, like the Flash, bro. Like the Flash has broken his spine many times, and instead of being paralyzed, that shit just fucking heals. Like, bro, if he breaks his fucking arm, it's gonna heal. He doesn't need fucking recovery, girl, bro. So he's in his room training like fucking hell. And if you didn't know, he needs to eat a lot, a lot. So his parents, um, Nezu puts in a he put in a good word for them a long ass time ago. He's like, since Izuku got into their household, he put in a good word for them in some pretty high paying jobs. That way they could support Izuku, right? And with their jobs, they can pay for the extra food that Izuku needs now to build up his body. Which he's like, yeah, my quirk is starting to act up, and it's like it's getting too powerful and breaking my body. If I don't bulk up a little bit, if I don't become stronger, like the shit will start to um, break my bones and stuff. So he's like, so I'm gonna be eating a little more. Hope that's not a problem. His parents are like, no, that's not a problem at all. It's cool. Don't worry. So um, Izuku, like I said, he's just been working out. So time skip to the what was it? The heroes versus villains practical exam testing. So Izuku, so All Might comes to the class and he's like coming through the door like a normal person. Blah blah blah. Everybody's like, that's not normal. They're freaking out about All Might being there except for Izuku because Izuku sees All Might pretty much every single fucking day. And All Might notices his successor and he's like, my brother is never. He's like, this guy is never surprised to see me as always. He's like fucking annoying ass, fucking brat. Because All Might, he has this little banter with Izuku because he knows Izuku is a good guy at heart, but Izuku's still a little bit. He's an edge lord, bro. He's like Sasuke, my nigga. Like the nigga is like he has that black Air Force energy, bro. That's the energy he's on all the time. But anyway, so All Might's like hero suits, blah blah, gives them to them, and everybody's like, well, where's Izuku's hero suit? And Izuku's like, oh, I've had uh, a hero suit since I was 7, my nigga. Like I'm cool, don't worry about that. They're like, since you were 7, what? Blah blah blah. And he's like, don't worry about my past. Just know I got a hero suit. They're like, okay, we want to see it. Basically, this is his hero suit, and they see him in it, which I don't remember if I said he went to the UA entrance exam with a hero suit or not, which I'm gonna say he didn't, okay? Because I just want them to marvel at his shit, which if you don't know, this suit is just amazing, bro. Look at that lightning and shit around it. Anyway, so Izuku is like, yeah, I'm gonna beat some ass today, cause, let's just say he's just pissed for some reason. You know them days where you just wake up in the wrong mood and it just won't get right. You can't get right. So he's like, yeah, I'm in a bad mood today. I need to blow off some steam. Who the fuck's trying to get their ass beat? And basically, they draw slots. Same thing happens. Ida and Bakugo versus him and Uraka. Um, basically, they do the same thing. They go in, and Uraka's like, what are we gonna do if Bakugo comes after us? He's really strong. And Izuku's like, that bitch ain't strong. That nigga is weak as fuck. You know? Which I don't know if I said no ship in this as well. There's gonna be a ship just later. Alright, and I can't decide the ship right now. So, but anyway, so um, yeah, Izuku and Uraka are just walking, and Bakugo suddenly comes about the corner, right? And he throws a big ass explosion towards Izuku and Uraka, which everyone's like, Bakugo, what the fuck? That was They're like, that was too unexpected. They wouldn't be able to dodge it, right? But and there's a bunch of smoke everywhere because Bakugo made a big ass explosion. He didn't use the hand grenade yet, so it wasn't like devastating. But it was enough to blow like um. But at that distance, it was enough to at least burn skin, you know. So Izuku just speeds Uraraka to the other side of the explosion because he can't be bothered for that shit. And basically, while Bakugo is like lathering in his glory, he's like, "Ha, I beat the nerd, blah blah. That proves I'm the strongest here." And Izuku just whispers to Uraraka like, "Go to the top and go get Tenya. Like I can deal with this for the. In the meanwhile, I'll just deal with this bitch ass nigga." And Uraraka's like, "Okay, okay," and she starts like running towards the upstairs, which Bakugo hears footsteps and he's like, "What?" And he turns around and he sees Izuku, and he just sees a giant fist. You know, like when Saitama was gonna punch Genos, and he just stopped his fist like in front of he just stopped his fist in front of Genos. Yeah, Izuku's gonna do that, and he's gonna have the giant fist too. He's not gonna have the death thing, but he's gonna have the giant fist, and he punches Bakugo with 20% of one for all. Bakugo just gets flung back all the way, man, nigga. Like he punches Bakugo, and Bakugo just gets like cratered into the wall, bro. Like no fucking excuses whatsoever. And he just gets cratered into the wall, right? And Bakugo's like, "Is that all, nerd?" And he like wipes away blood from his mouth and shit. And he's just like, "Oh no, that ain't it. That ain't it whatsoever." And Izuku goes up to Bakugo. Just like I said, Izuku could quite easily kill people. He's a speedster, and there's no speedsters in this universe, and there's no anti-speedster weapons. So there's pretty much nothing that can stop him, except except maybe the Black Flash. Which yes, this is gonna be a multiverse with the Flash, with Arrowverse is gonna be in this, the Flashverse. You know, with Barry Allen from the TV show, from CW. Um, Flash is gonna be in here as well. So you know, but anyway, so maybe Black Flash could stop him, or which he's way faster than Barry Allen at this point in the CW because Allen had his powers for what, 3 years or four, and Izuku's has his had his powers for since since he was four. He's had his powers. I'm pretty sure since he was four. I don't even fucking know. I think I said it was since he was like since he was four. So he's had it since he was four. So he's had his powers for 10 years. He's way faster than Barry Allen would ever be. And his lightning is just blue. It's not because he's taking velocity 9 or anything. His lightning is blue because if you didn't know, the color of your lightning reflects how fast you are. And if you have blue lightning, that means you're you're like the fastest um, positive speed force speedster can be. And after that, you can only get faster, but your lightning won't change. And if you have yellow lightning, that means you're a fast speedster. And if you had red lightning, like the Flash did, like if you have reddish yellow lightning, like the Flash did in the beginning, that means you're like a new speedster. You have to get used to your fucking powers and shit, right? So Izuku at this point, he can go, which the Flash can go Mach 3.3 in the CW show. So Izuku can go Mach 5. Well, he could go Mach 5 in the beginning of this What If, but All Might's quirk, it does enhance his speed a little bit. It does enhance his physical capabilities, right? So now he can go Mach 5.5. Yeah, Mach 5.5, which, bro, um, if you didn't know, just adding that 5.5 makes him so much fucking faster than he was originally. You don't even understand. But anyway, Izuku's not even using his speed. Back to the fight with Bakugo. Izuku's not even using his speed with the fight against Bakugo, right? Because he's like, I don't need to use that shit. I just need to use One for All. Which All Might usually sees Izuku only using his power, and he doesn't use One for All that much. And All Might seeing Izuku only One for All, and not his actual power, which you can tell because when Izuku uses only One for All, the lightning is kind of like a a it's kind of a light blue, and when he uses his power, it's like very very deep blue. So people they can't understand why the lightning changes color, but you know it is what it is. Anyway, All Might's happy because he's like, my successor is finally using my power alone. Um, he's like, he doesn't need to use um, One for All, but I'm happy he is because yes, he wants Izuku to be powerful. And his quirk is already powerful enough, but he still wants his successor to be like to embrace. He wants his successor to embrace his legacy, you know. So Izuku is just using. He used 20% at the beginning, which broke Bakugo's jaw. But he's like, yeah, I can't do that shit. Like, cause if I do that, I'm gonna start breaking bones all the time. So he starts holding back and only using 15%, which at this point he can use 23%. So he's using 15%, which still bruises Bakugo's bones heavily, but it's not gonna like kill the nigga, you know. So um, Izuku is beating the shit out of Bakugo, you know. And imagine the end of season 3 fight that Bakugo and Izuku had. Yeah, that fight. That's the fight they're having, except it's completely one-sided, and Bakugo is getting his ass beat. And so Izuku finishes up with Bakugo, and finally decides, okay, I gotta end this. And he uses 23% and basically just rocks Bakugo's shit and just knocks him out. And he goes up to the roof, to the level where Uraraka is, and he sees Uraraka getting basically about to get kicked by Ida because Ida peeped Uraraka. And Izuku just speeds there, and he blocks Ida's kick with his forearm, activating One for All so he wouldn't get pushed back. And then he grabs Ida in the face and just basically grabs his face and just smashes it into the ground, cratering his head. Which at that point, All Might's like, damn, that nigga didn't have to fucking do that. He's like, bro, I love my successor, but this nigga, it just goes overboard too much, you know. And after that, after that, they touch the bomb and they win. Let's see, what time? How much time? Ooh, 23, damn. So, now is the USJ arc, which they'll be going to. And so they get on the bus and everybody's talking about their quirks, right? Which everybody's talking about their quirks, and they ask Izuku, so what is your quirk? Because you said it was just a speed enhancement, but it's been enhancing your body. But from what we've seen, it enhances your body as well. And Izuku's like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, my quirk's my quirk. Like, sure, it's evolved a little bit, like from since I got it, but yeah, it still just enhances my body. Like, so it's just a body enhancement. So what's that lightning around you? And he's like, shut the fuck up, bro. He's like, just let me explain. So that's that lightning is just. He says it's just what'd you call it? Oh damn, I forgot what force it is. It's not speed force. Don't worry. I'm not forgetting about the speed force. It's kinetic energy. Yeah, he says it's just a buildup of kinetic energy discharge that I leave behind because I run super fast and the energy doesn't know where to go. We're like, oh, okay, because that's the explanation. That's the explanation that Nezu told Izuku to go with, because Izuku told Nezu that it's the Speed Force, and Nezu's like, so you're the only one that can use this shit? And Izuku's like, yeah, pretty much. So Nezu's like, okay, that's cool then. So anyway, they're like, okay, that's it. That's it. That's all we needed to fucking hear. And when they get to the USJ, Izuku's getting a bad feeling, but it's not because of the villains. Don't worry, he doesn't have like some sort of battle sense or some shit like that. It's just um, this is at the time when Barry is kind of this is like what do you call it, when Barry creates Flashpoint, which in Barry's universe's time moves much faster. So a year, a year in Barry's universe is just one day in Izuku's. It's like the hyperbolic time chamber. So Izuku has been feeling like time and the Speed Force is being disturbed by some random ass nigga. So it's like, yeah, I gotta check that out later. Because Barry creates Flashpoint, then Barry creates Barry does all this time travel shit, and basically all this shit happens up until season 5. Now give me a second. The USJ incident begins, right? They get in there and everything's fine until Kirishima was like, oh cool, you even have fake villains? Which to 13 is like, what fake villains? And she looks and she just sees like these villains coming out of a portal. And she's like, no, those aren't. And as I was like, no, those aren't fake villains. They're real villains. He's like, 13, get the kids to safety, and they're like, Ida, you should go get the teachers. Actually, not. They're like, Izuku, you should go get the teachers. Which Izuku's like, sure, whatever. And so Izuku just speeds towards thing. He speeds towards um who would you call it? All Might. Yeah, he speeds towards UA, which, like I said, All Might isn't as damaged in this one, right? But you know, he still has a time limit. It's just his time limit is 3 hours per day, and he had to deal with a villain attack before he came here, and he's dealing with this villain attack. Which, let's say this villain is a random villain. He has a warp quirk, which All Might's finding difficult to deal with because um, All Might's finding it difficult to deal with because, well, that shit is annoying. Like brother keeps throwing knives into the portals, and the knives keeps going at All Might, which they're made out of the special material made to cut All Might. Which they're not cutting him, but they're just bruising him because he can't throw them fast or hard enough. But you know, but the guy is throwing it at random civilians to throw All Might off his track as well. So All Might has to save multiple civilians because of the guy's teleport quirk. And Izuku is speeding towards the way because that's where he thinks All Might is. And then along the way, he sees a bunch of wind dispersed, which he knows is All Might. So he just runs there, right? And when he gets there, he's All Might finding a villain. He gets there, and All Might's like, "Why aren't you at the USJ?" And he's like, "There's no time for that. The USJ is being attacked." And he's like, "What? And why are you here?" And Izuku's like, "I came to get you, my nigga. Like, I know you're fighting a villain, but." He's like, can I just deal with him quick so that you can be there for your students so that they can have hope, my nigga?" And All Might's like, why didn't you do that? And he's like, well, I did what the teacher told me. Like, I follow orders. What the fuck is you on? And All Might's like, alright, cause I don't know. I don't think. Well, would that
For real, like, wouldn't Izuku just stay and help?